Here's one on MPA, maximum power available. I see my MPA has improved, but I still don't really understand how it fits into my training or how I can use it during my training and my races.
Okay, MPA is the same thing as peak power. And so maximum power available and peak power are that far upper y-axis on the power duration curve. It's not 1 second, it is the 1 instant maximum power available. And as you go through time on your bike at high intensity, that MPA begins to look like a slip and slide. So it goes down on a convex curve and then it comes down on a concave curve. And what it's basically saying is this: if you have a 1000 MPA and then you go for a bike ride, and after 30 or 40 minutes, you've got an MPA that's in the 800s, you've done some work. You've done some work, and you've had dips in your MPA, and you've had recoveries in your MPA. I just got back from a bike ride. Mountain biking, I think it's really critical, because what I was able to do was on the chicane climbs, I was able to punch it up into well into my 300, 400, 500, 600 watt power. My MPA was at 1050 and it would go down to about 920 over time. And then on the straightaways, I would actually kind of recover and it would go back up to 940, 950, 960, 970. And I'd punch it again on the next chicane and it would go back down to 920, 910, 900, things like that.
Tell them how you set me up at that race a few years ago.
This is a little bit of a longer story. But my wife did a crit in 2017, 2016, something like that. And this was back in the early days of the Xert fields.
I asked him to help me with it because I was frustrated that the field wouldn't attack. Everyone just wanted to sit and chase and wait for the sprint.
Got it. So we knew that Tracy's fitness signature was accurate. We knew she had a good 890 watt MPA. We knew that she had an HIE in the high teens or low 20s. And we knew that she had a very, very good 225, 230 watt threshold. And this was a lazy 8 course with
8 turns.
8 turns, and it had a little bit of a hill in it. So I put one Xert field on a Garmin 1000, and it was MPA and power. And then I literally, over the course of the 40 minutes of the race, I would call out colors and she would respond.
You said you 10 seconds red.
Yeah, I would say go. The scale was black was threshold, yellow was VO2, red was anaerobia, and purple was breakthrough. And so I was yelling out at her right there at the midway. I would say, okay, recover green. And she would go ride green. And then I would say, okay, next lap, 1 minute yellow, and she would give it yellow. And then I would say, okay, yellow, red, yellow, green. And she would go accelerate and then punch it a little bit more and then back off a little bit. And here's what basically happened.
Yeah, so when I was doing that, instead of just pulling them, I ended up like slinkying, not slinkying.
Yes, that's true, you did slinky them. She destroyed the peloton. She got it down from 23 starters to 5. She also won every preem, and she basically improved her odds setting up for the big finale. And at the very, very end, I said, okay, it's your race. Go for the purple.
It was nice because they didn't know what I was going to do or why I was doing it.
Yes. She knew that she had money that she could borrow from the bank. Okay, she could dip into that pot of gold and use it for power and acceleration. And she also knew that, again, when the brain is telling you back off, the MPA is saying, hey, you still got 250 watts left. You've still got it.
I went back into the field and just tried to be green.
Yep, she let her MPA go all the way back up again to almost full. She made it around the final right-hand turn, and I wasn't at the finish line. I was looking at the corner, and she accelerated and just burned it. And this is actually on my website. It's it's behind the paywall, so it's for $10 a month. You can read that article. She won by half a wheel. And after the race was over, every single rider that was in contention went up to her and said, "You owned that. You owned that race." Isn't that right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they all.
I think, that one girl that was from Houston or Austin.
Saw what happened.
Anyway, she owned the race.
They heard you yelling. They heard you.
Right.
They knew we were doing something different.
Right. And what Tracy told me was about midway through, it all clicked. So use those colors, use that MPA, borrow from the bank, let the APR rate of return come back, borrow from the bank, let the APR rate of return come back, and use it to your advantage. There's nothing wrong with riding at high intensity, as long as you don't cross the threshold. If you don't cross the threshold, the Rubicon is what I call it, where your wattage is above your MPA, you should be good to go. However, if your signature is accurate and you do cross the Rubicon, well, you've had a fitness breakthrough. And either the signature is not correct or you will be truly exhausted. And we don't want that in competition or things like that. We want it set up in training so that the number is accurate when you go out and ride out in the field.